Hey everybody. You know, I want to talk about a few things WWE and TNA related. So as you can see, this is WWE TNA talk, if you will. You know, I was watching the Off the Ropes show review last night of Final Resolution. And everybody's been talking about it for the past week. Schleg Daddy talked about it last night. One of the things that people have been complaining about lately is the fact that TNA and Taz haven't really been in to calling the action, haven't really been enthusiastic, haven't been the kind of announcers you want calling your show, calling the action, telling the stories of what's going on. And there's a reason for that, maybe. You see, I think in a sense what it is maybe in their own minds, perhaps, you know, they're doing their job, but perhaps they feel it's just being repetitive. And there's not really much to get excited about. Maybe that's why they're not putting too much into it. Now, Schleg Daddy said that the only time that they ever get excited or they talk positive is either around Jeff Jarrett, and that's TNA for you, or it's Kurt Angle, and that being both. Well, the reason TNA would, of course, you know, be enthusiastic in the case of a Jeff Jarrett is because Jeff Jarrett's the founder, and Jeff Jarrett essentially gave TNA an opportunity to be the lead broadcaster in TNA. And the reason for Kurt Angle being talked about a lot is because he's Kurt Angle. You know, they're trying to talk him up, make him bigger than life itself, I guess. I don't really know, but that's just my assumption. You know, the thing with, and then of course people talk about the whole thing with TNA and them not really doing anything with the television title. Here's the thing: the reason TNA has not yet taken the TV title off Robbie E and put it on somebody that can make it mean something, make it more like an Intercontinental title, if you will, or basically make it TNA's answer to the Intercontinental title. The reason they haven't taken it off Robbie E in the eyes of many is because Robbie E still has that gimmick he goes by, that representing gimmick of Jersey Shore. And since TNA's on Spike TV, and Spike TV along with MTV is owned by Viacom and Paramount, and one of MTV's top shows, I guess, in their minds, or Viacom's eyes, is Jersey Shore. Of course, you know, TNA's not going to take the belt off Robbie E just yet because Jersey Shore's still going. And he's the only connection. Basically, they feel that, in my opinion, I think TNA feels that, hey, if we have Robbie E as our TV champion, people are going to, and word gets out that we have a Jersey Shore-like person as one of our champions, people are going to want to watch it. And that's the only reason they haven't took the belt off him. Now, of course, they have Rob Terry as his bodyguard, so that would worry a lot of people that maybe they're trying to, in their minds, build Robbie E up to be something that a lot of people feel he's never going to be. Now, you know, another thing that, you know, is really, another thing that really gets people sometimes is that, you know, they don't bring in real wrestling fans into the Impact Zone for these pay-per-views. See, this is one thing, and I agree with it. TNA has to really work on it in the coming year. They can't just stay in the Impact Zone for all the other pay-per-views like Genesis and maybe Slammiversary and all that. To me, Genesis, Lockdown, Slammiversary, and Battle for Glory are your big four. Essentially, in the eyes of TNA. I mean, Genesis kicks you off. It basically sometimes lives up to what its name implies. It's a genesis for the company for that year. It's a beginning for that year. It basically sets the tone of what we're going to have that year. Then Lockdown is basically your pay-per-view where all the matches are in cages, even the knockout matches. And sometimes that's one of your most violent pay-per-views. Then, of course, Slammiversary, which is going to be your big one this year, which is going to be the big one this year because it's 10 years, you know. And then, of course, you got Bound for Glory, which essentially is your WrestleMania, your Starrcade. And the one thing that people have been complaining about is, you need to at least take your 4 big pay-per-views on the road. You need to take them out of the impact zone and make them mean something by putting them in these other arenas, in these other venues. And I agree. I agree on that, but here's the thing. Even though it's a multi-million-dollar company, it's still called economy. It's still called saving a buck. I mean, don't you think people like me here in the Stanislaus County portion of California doesn't want to see a TNA pay-per-view probably in Modesto, at Modesto Junior College? Do you think we don't want to see it maybe, I don't know, see a TNA event maybe, I don't know, at the Gallo Center in Modesto, or the Grand Theater in Tracy? You don't think we don't want to see that? We do. But you see, that's the thing about TNA. They don't do things like that. I mean, heck, you have these base brawls, you have these ballpark brawls, if you will, these, whatever you call them, these brawl in the park events during the summer and into the early portion of the fall. Why don't you do that for your pay-per-views during the summer? Like during the spring and the summer, it's nice and everything. Take Lockdown and Slammiversary, take them to these stadiums. Take them to these minor league stadiums like you've been doing, like in Buffalo and all that. Take them outdoors, folks. That will get you a lot of media attention, but the thing is, you don't do that. I mean, yeah, you take them in big venues, that's great. But honestly, look where you were this year, I think, for Lockdown. Look where you were. The USA Arena in Cincinnati. 400 people, and that place packs more. What the hell? I mean, at least when you do it outdoors, like during the summer, during the spring and summer, you'll get more people. It's called using your brains. But then again, when you look at it from a business standpoint, perhaps TNA is realizing, look, all these fans, all these critics, all these insiders are suggesting all this. That's great, but we can't do that right now because our main profit is here in Universal, and that's probably what it is too. Universal Studios, who's made some great movies, has a great theme park, there's no doubt about it. Universal Studios has this deal with Spike TV and TNA that states you could probably take 1 or 2 of your major pay-per-views, or 3, whatever you want, maybe 3 or 4 of your pay-per-views on the road, but the rest got to be in the impact zone. Because it not only makes money for you, it makes money for us. And that's what it's all about. In my opinion, I think that's what's going on. But I do agree, TNA needs to start taking, they either need to start taking their events, like upcoming with Genesis, which is not going to happen, but maybe with Lockdown, Slammiversary, and Bound for Glory, and maybe a few more next year, on the road so that actual wrestling fans can watch them and be vocal about it. When they take Impact on the road and they have actual wrestling fans in those arenas, that helps them out. That's why they get the damn ratings they do for that. Because those aren't, just amusement park fans, as Schlick Daddy calls it. Fans that don't have a clue of what they're watching. In fact, those are actual wrestling fans. That's what they are. And TNA needs to realize that. And you know what you could do? You know what you could do? If you want to really do something big, you want to, I don't know, at least pack them in. Even if it's 500, 400, whatever, 1,000 perhaps, because it's probably mostly you're going to do. I'd say take a daring step if I was TNA. And that daring step, book a dome. Book a dome arena. And I'm not talking something like the Golden Dome and all that. I'm talking an actual dome stadium. Yeah. You know what the best part? Here's the thing. Slammiversary is your big anniversary deal, right? 10 years. You're probably going to go to Huntsville for that. Or maybe Nashville. But if you stay in Florida, don't stay in the impact zone, man. Go to St. Petersburg. That's right. Go to St. Petersburg. Go to the St. Petersburg Forum. It may be small, but it's a dome-like stadium, and that would be perfect for you guys. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just saying it works out better that way. But again, like I said, I can understand these are problems from TNA and Taz to Robbie E to whatever, you know, just being the main problems there. I can understand that. And you know, with Austin Aries, I agree. The guy needs to either become a tweener face or a full-fledged heel. That's what he needs to be. They need to make a decision on the guy. You're going to put him in with a Kid Cash who's sort of a heel as well. You need to make one face. And right now, Austin Aries is the best option. I mean, look, TNA needs to take a lesson, believe it or not, needs to take a page and a lesson and learn a lesson from WWE. WWE tried to do the same thing with Stone Cold. They tried to do the same thing with Kennedy. What happened? Fans got behind these guys. Fans got behind them and they cheered them. Same thing they're doing with Kennedy. Heck, you know what? That's surprising. I didn't even see Anderson advertised for last night. Weird. But let Austin Aries be Austin Aries. Let the fans get behind him. Let the fans cheer him. That's what you need to do. Just take a page from WWE and say, you know what? We're just going to let Austin Aries be Austin Aries. That's it. Just let him be himself. Makes sense, folks. Now, as far as WWE goes, you know, there's a lot of things going on in WWE right now that some people, it's been mentioned many times before. WWE's either got to get off the shitter and decide what they're going to do with Cena. Everybody knows that's one of the top things, priorities they need to look at. Another thing that's really bugging me is, when are you just going to get this whole Michael Cole, Daniel Bryan feud over with? I mean, the damn thing's been going on and off, and it's back on again for about a year, almost 2 years now, folks. 2 years almost. I mean, I respect Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson, you fool. I respect him. And they need to shit or get off the pot with this. You know, they got advertised for Memphis on the first Raw of the new year, where this whole second 2012 deal is going to happen. They need to get off the pot and either make it Lawler and Cole in Memphis in a street fight, or Daniel Bryan and Cole in a street fight. And basically give the fans what they want. Essentially, that may look like what they're going to do with Zack Ryder. They're going to finally give the fans what they want with him at TLC, maybe. But get off the pot with Daniel Bryan and Michael Cole. Either get Michael Cole off of the out of the announce team and make him maybe the business advisor or manager for The Miz, because I think that's probably where you're going to go with it. Or let Daniel Bryan cash his Money in the Bank thing in and let him become world champion. Get off the pot. You know, put to rest the whole Daniel Bryan Michael Cole deal. Put it to rest once and for all, and either add a stipulation that says if Michael Cole loses, maybe to Daniel Bryan, if they have a match or a street fight, that he's no longer part of the announce team. Get him off. Let him be like the Miz's manager or business advisor. And then let Daniel Bryan cash in his Money in the Bank. Get this done with and over with, so that they could go their separate ways and not have to interact anymore. That's my solution, folks. That's the way I look at it. Get it done with. Get it over with. You know? Get off the pot. Shit or get off the pot. Same with Dolph Ziggler. You know, Dolph Ziggler, a lot of people look at him as WWE's version of Jeff Jarrett. You know, either get off the pot, either shit or get off the pot with him. Either let him drop the U.S. strap to Zack Ryder and let him have maybe a short run, transitional run with the WWE Championship in the future, or not. And with Brodus Clay, shit or get off the pot with him. Shit, I'll get off the pot with him. And I'll be back in a second.